Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're going to get back with more Amberlynn Reid content today. We're going to be doing Q&A part 2, but quick disclaimer, I decided to film this video after I woke up with severe migraine, back pain, neck pain, and hip pain. Essentially, I have scoliosis, so occasionally it will play up, and sometimes I will just have severe pain throughout my entire body. And I do have like prescription morphine, well, not specifically morphine, but stuff with morphine in it. So essentially I was high throughout this entire video, and I used some colorful language, and I do apologize for the things that I said. Well, not so too much towards Amber or all the people I talk about, more so to you guys, because frankly, even though my inhibition was lowered, I pretty much did mean the majority of it. I just don't say it typically because I do try to have a basic level of respect, but that went straight out the window with that medication. With that being said, we are just going to get straight into it and answer the question, so that way I can get back to making other videos. Again, I'm sorry, but let's get into it. Starting off with question 1, we have, does Twinkie like Tommy? And she replies, yes, all my fur babies love her, and vice versa. Now, I don't believe that really Amber is able to understand how animals function and how their body language interprets how they actually feel. Because, I mean, let's face it, Amber doesn't understand basic interactions with other human beings. So animal language would be, next to impossible for her. So she has no idea whether or not these animals like Tommy. It's just, if they are interacting, they're in love. That's just Amber's mentality. Moving on to question 2, we have, how long are you planning to stay in Minnesota for? To which Amber replies, never been to Minnesota a day in my life. And honestly, we all know this person meant Wisconsin. Amber is a narcissist, so she's going to, be a condescending jackass, regardless of, someone makes an innocent mistake or not. Amber can't help but, stick the knife in. But I don't honestly think Amber is going to leave. I think she's there for good. And even if she does leave, I think she's not really going to tell anyone until she gets back. It's more so that Amber likes the speculation and the drama, regardless of how much she says she doesn't. Like, she's always going to enjoy people speculating on her life because it gives her some sort of weird satisfaction at the fact that people are really trying to engross themselves into her life. And it's just weird. But I mean, that's just part of her being, Amber, really. Moving on to question 3, we have, what's the reason you don't believe the moon landing happened? And I mean, we all know the answer. Amber is just goddamn stupid, but oh my god, I just read the rest of this. Let's just one bullet point at a time, shall we? Number 1 is inconsistency in photos, which honestly is pretty rich coming from her because, like, Amber, have you seen your videos? The filters are working double time for that face of yours. Number 2 is technology supposedly being sufficient then, but not now, which again is also rich because you've been on YouTube for 11 years and you just found out what level lines are meant for on a camera. So you should not be talking about technology. Number 3, USA wanted to win the space race against the Soviet Union, so they staged it. There is no way in hell. This is fake. I don't care what anyone says. This is like AI generated or some shit, because no way Amber knows what the hell the Soviet Union is. She couldn't even point at Russia on a map, let alone actually know what the Soviet Union was. Number 4, Neil Armstrong's responses in interviews when asked if he went to the moon. That right there just proves Amber did not write this, because Amber can't tell the difference between a response, which is a lie, and a response that is truth, and also body language. She has been broken up with 6 times, and she had no idea when those 6 relationships were going to break up. So piss off for that response. Number 6, constant conflicting statements from astronauts and people who worked at NASA. That's rather interesting, Amber, because most of your stories have conflicting statements, and you never seem to want to address them. So does that mean you're showing your hand and saying that the inconsistencies in your own stories are also lies? Because why is it that we can't believe that you're a liar, but then you can believe that other things don't happen because of inconsistencies? You goddamn hypocrite. Number 7, we have videos and images show evidence of manipulation. Yeah, you would know all about that, wouldn't you? Guys, I'm going to be fully serious. I completely forgot what number I'm up to. I think I'm like up to number 8 or 9, but I do not remember. But we've only got one more anyway. So we have the lunar module looks like a toy. So I question the landing / traveling capabilities. Like what? We got Engineer Lynn over here, she can't work out traveling capabilities by herself, as in moving her ass from one place to the other, but apparently she knows everything about the lunar module. Girl, seriously, there is no way in hell she read this. She's gonna, she's gonna come out and say like, hey, Chat GPT or some shit read this. I know that for a fact. Moving on to the next question we have, if your life were to be made into a movie, which actress would play you and Tommy? Now, Amber says Tess Holliday and Kristen Stewart for her and Tommy. Now, I think this is actually a really good choice because Tess Holliday is a massive narcissist, but both physically and metaphorically. If I'm not mistaken, isn't there allegations where she also lied about SA too? So, I mean, that's right up Amber's alley. And then you have Kristen Stewart, which honestly, her acting is about as dry as Tommy's personality. We just got to throw a couple of prosthetics on her to make her look less, Kristen Stewart's actually a very beautiful woman. Like, no shade to her at all, but we're gonna have to throw some prosthetics on her to make her look less like her and more like the guy from Gotham, because that's kind of what Tommy looks like. She put, the guy that plays the Penguin from Gotham. Moving on to the next question, we have the last movie or TV show you watched. Amber replies, Monsters, the Mendez Stories. Now, maybe, honestly, I think Amber is from also just saying it because it's a hot topic right now, and Amber can't help but set ourselves into things that she shouldn't be a part of because she should be the one in prison. Moving on to the next question, we have, where is Twinkie? And Amber replies with a goddamn statement. What the hell? All right. I have gotten this question times today. I'm not even gonna try pronouncing that number. I've been with Twinkie for 9 years and I have never been without her. Same with my other two fur babies, Wasabi and Warity. They've never been without me. It's funny because people were pissed when they thought I abandoned them in Oklahoma. Well, maybe if you communicated and you weren't such a shitty pet owner, people probably wouldn't think the worst of you. But when they found out that it wasn't true, they were mad I brought them with me to Wisconsin, and now that I'm on a slight hiatus from uploading, well, again, Amber, maybe a little bit of communication. People think the worst of you because you're a shitty person. Like, oh my god, I don't have the energy for this right now, but people are back to assuming I abandoned them. Again, communication. Give it up. I don't abandon my pets. I never will. Oh yeah, what about Gracie May that you let out and because you wanted to get another cat? And also, what about Monkey? Remember Monkey, from Crystal? You were so adamant about that being your cat, your dog, and then you decided to just abandon the shit out of that when you moved on to Destiny. So maybe practice what you preach, kid, and you probably wouldn't get called out so much. Guys, I regret my decision to make this video. My head is killing me. It's getting worse, and Amber's constant pity party is just setting me off. Like, seriously, there are two things in this world that will always be sure, and it's paying taxes and Amber crying. Like, the world itself can implode, and Amber would just be floating in space, crying about something someone said 10 years ago. Like, I'm amazed she hasn't drowned in her own tears at this point. Next question we have, do you think people treat you differently because you're bigger? Oh my god, here we go. To which she replies, I know they do. I'm treated differently at 350 versus 460 versus when I was set at 570. I was going to say 750. She's not quite that big, but so many people are fat phobic and don't even realize it. It's a sad reality. Someone's size should never be a deciding factor on how they are treated, but it's my reality. No, Amber, it's not reality. What it is that you're a condescending jackass and people don't like you, so therefore they're going to attack one of your insecurities, which happens to be your weight. Which, no offense, but you could be 160, 165, 170, you could be a stick, and people are still going to treat you the same way because people don't like you because you're a bad person. You're a shitty person, and that's why people treat you like shit. Moving on to the next question we have, how come you only post blogs when you need money? To which Amber follows up with a statement, this statement isn't true at all, but the idiocy needs to be called out. Imagine being so privileged that you ask someone why they are working in 2024. Shit's expensive. People need money to survive. Which, let's get a couple things straight. First and foremost, it's not idiocy, it's a basic ass question, Amber. And they want to know, why do you only put effort into working when you need money? Which, yes, everybody needs money to work, but they're asking why are you half-assing everything like you always do, because you're a lazy piece of shit. Secondly, you have no right talking about privilege considering the fact that you have been privileged throughout your entire life. You have been sheltered throughout your entire life. You have not even had it half as bad as a lot of people in society, and yet you are constantly the one that always pulls the pity me cards. So the fact that you even try this bullshit is ridiculous. And then to go on to say shit's expensive, ma'am, you work 8 hours a week and then you put out a video and get paid hundreds of dollars. You have the money, so don't even try that. Maybe eat less. Moving on to the next question we have, why did Mr. Snowflake say you cheated in your relationship? I'm so confused. To which Amber replies, because he lies to his audience, but it's okay if the lie is something awful about me, right? Now, I'm kind of on the fence about this one. If she didn't cheat in a specific relationship that he himself is talking about, then okay, I can agree with Amber. She didn't do that. Thank you, Amber, for doing the bare minimum in your relationship and not trying to, put your hand in someone else's cookie jar. At least you have that basic level of respect. Of course, that is not every single relationship because she has cheated before and she has defended it by saying, well, I was young and stupid, which is not a justification. If you cheat on someone, you cheat on someone. Own that shit, Amber. Moving on, we have, hey girly, hope you are going well. Was it worth everything with Alexis and Erica to be where you are now? Amber replies, yes, 10,000%. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be in this moment, which you wanted a falling out with your best friend where she decided to shit talk you for 5 different videos because she was butthurt you didn't want to put your hand in her cookie jar? Like, you think that's worth going through all that effort to be with a feeder? Also, did you think it was appropriate to help be a side chick in someone else's marriage when you yourself couldn't take no for an answer when you were told off? Like, say what you want about Erica, she's a shitty person too, but you knew she was married and you continued that relationship. That says a lot about you too. All right, on to the next one. We have, how would it affect your YouTube if there was suddenly no more reaction channels? To which Amber replies, they need me, I never needed them, I was here before them, I will be here after them. That's debatable. We should be asking, how would it affect reaction channels if there was no more Amberlynn? Well, to be fair, we don't really have to ask that question, we just gotta wait a couple of years and we'll find out. Moving on to the next one, we have, how long have you lived in Oklahoma for? I thought I was caught up, to which Amber has replied, it's been a year now. Time has completely flown by, feels like just yesterday, I was terrified to live on my own, but then I learned that I loved it. Honestly, can we even really say Amber lived on her own? Because, I mean, she didn't even do the basic necessities for herself because her mother did a lot of the work for her. So it's not even really living on her own. Like, yes, physically she lived on her own, but her mother was basically coming and going as like a caretaker. So, I mean, I couldn't say that Amber really lived on her own because that's not true. Speaking of coming and going, Amber, if you ever decide to write a poetry book, like on your exes, that's what you should name it because that's what they all did. Moving on to the next question we have, where did you leave the pets when you went to the hotel? To which Amber replied, one of Tommy's friends came over and kindly took care of them for us. Thankfully, we were only gone for 16 hours, which doesn't even make any sense, Amber, because you drove those pets 19 hours with your stinky ass in the car because you didn't want to leave them with a stranger. So you decided to uproot your animals, take them with you for 19 hours, leave them with some stranger in a stranger's house, which would make them feel not only comfortable, but twice as uncomfortable because they're in a random place that they don't know, with a stranger they don't know, with other pets they don't know, and then you decide to go get your freak on with Two-Faced Lex and Sloppy Toppy. So we have another follow-up question, which is, they weren't asking why you post for money, they are asking why you only post when you need money, which, of course, Amber's not going to get the goddamn question. To which Amber replies, I think you're missing the point. No, Amber, she's not missing the point. She got a dead on. You're the dumbass that can't seem to understand the point. I'd like to reiterate that the statement they were insinuating, well, okay, she spelled reiterate and insinuating correctly, so I'm going to assume that she's using Grammarly or some shit in order to actually get the words right, because there's no way that she spelled those correctly. Isn't true, but if it was or is for anyone in the USA, you must have some sort of privilege to not need a job because people need money to survive, and to survive you need to work. Not necessarily true. Some people get benefits because of disabilities. Not to talk shit about those people. I have people that I care about are on disabilities, but you don't need the money in order to survive by working. You can get it other ways. Like Amber, she doesn't actually work. She just, provides entertainment through the train wreck that is her life. Like, that isn't a job, and that isn't her surviving. She just needs money because she needs to really keep the girlies on the hook, because otherwise they don't want anything to do with her. I mean, besides Beck, honestly, Beck is like, she's probably like the sweetheart out of all of the group, which, like, I'm genuinely happy that she moved on because that was a shit show for her. But the rest were kind of, oh, honestly, Crystal and Casey too. Yeah, Crystal and Casey, I'd say they weren't, but I mean, the rest, they're all, yeah. But where was I? I completely skipped over where I was. Sorry, guys. I'm all over the place right now. Most people show up to work not because they want to. Actually, Amber, I show up to my job because I want to. Like, yes, I get money in order to survive, but at the same time, I don't get paid a lot of money. In fact, I could actually go work in retail, like Woolworths right now. I could go to my local Woolworths that's closer, that has easier access to get back and forth, and I would get paid more money than working with animals. I could get paid to stock shelves and I would not have to worry about getting my face potentially ripped off by a Great Dane. But that aside, I love my job. I will always go to my job, and I will probably spend the rest of my life doing my job because I get to rehabilitate animals that are neglected, abused by people like you and Chantel, and give them a second chance at life because they deserve that, unlike people like you who don't really deserve a second chance. That aside, but not everyone is money hungry like yourself or most of your girlfriends. But where am I? I completely forgot now. They show up because as humans, we need money and we need to survive. I'm more than positive the original person bringing this up also goes to work to make a living. So wouldn't it be idiotic for me to ask him, why do you only go to work when you need money? The Lord give me strength because this is giving me a massive headache. Alright guys, moving on to the next question, and honestly, looking at that photo is just, it's horrendous. I saw that the first time, and me and Jordan had the exact same reaction when we first watched it. Why were you sexy posing with the dog? It's just creepy as shit. But why write an essay instead of posting a pic of you and Twinkie? Such a shit liar. And then Amber goes, is the lie in the chat with us? Hate to break to you, Amber, but these photos mean absolutely nothing because they could be taken at any given time. Also, times and dates don't matter because you have an iPhone and you can change the dates on the iPhone, take a photo, and then that photo will say the date that was on your phone. So I could turn back time 50 years ago, take a photo with my phone. Well, technically not because I have an Android, but let's just say if I had an iPhone, and then that photo say that it was done 50 years ago, even though I'm only 28. So it means nothing because these photos could be taken at any given time. Moving to the next one, we have, show us your dream engagement ring, to which Amber replies, something like this, but smaller. Girl, if you stay with Black Widow Tommy, you're not going to get that ring. The only thing you're getting is a double-sized coffin. Next, we have, why did you turn off your comments to your last vlog? And then Amber replies, because the fat shaming of Alexis wasn't going to fly on my channel. Sweetheart, on your channel, a lot of things don't fly. But let's just face it. I mean, Alexis is not as big as you, but, you know, she's running right behind you. You know, it's a close second. We have a follow-up from a couple questions ago, which is, no, you turned off the comments because you couldn't handle them. Amber replies, if you've been watching me long enough, you know that I don't ever turn off the YouTube comments unless there's a good reason. If a friend of mine asks me to turn off the comments because of their mental health, I'm instantly doing it. Let's get a couple things straight. First and foremost, she was never your friend. She was a gold digger that wanted to get into your cookie jar. And then after that, she was just going to use you and abuse you for your money because she is you. Used to two sides of the same psychopath. And also you don't have periods, so period. I just looked at the rest of the questions and I'm not even halfway done yet. Like, Jesus Christ. Let's just get these over and done with, shall we? Next one we have, what do you usually journal about? And then Amber replies, feelings, thoughts I had that day, updating things in my life, like storylines and stuff. Oh my God. Does Amber maliciously dream? Of course, she probably would. She's the type of person who would make herself the main character of her own story. And like, I don't mean obviously the main character of your own story because you are the main character of your own story. I think she's the type of person who will think of a comeback and then write it down in a journal, be like, this is what I said, instead of saying, this is what I should have said. Like, Amber will make up storylines just to make herself like the main character of this show. Like, oh my God. What about people in my life? Oh, you know, she's talking mad shit. Oh yeah, no doubt in my mind she's been talking mad shit about all of our friends, families, and partners. What I did that day, what? There's going to be about 10 journals each day about how she ate and etc. I generally always have something to write about. Of course you are, you're a narcissist. Alright guys, I'm going to finish the video here. I don't have the will to live, let alone the will to finish this video. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hopefully we come back with more of her bullshit. See you on the next one. Bye bye.